What's up guys, Kayla here, welcome back to another game on the Gwenology account. This time we're up against Rune. Rune should be on screen now, and if you end up enjoying the vid, be sure to like, sub, comment something about a bell, and let's get into the lane. I went first strike this game, not because it's good or anything, just because I was feeling nostalgic about the rune. For those that have watched this channel for a long time, you know I loved this rune, and then they made it a laning phase rune instead of a really strong scaling rune. So if you want to win this lane outright, I say go Conqueror with Biscuits and Cosmic Insight there. There we start in the bush early, just to go for an early first strike proc. As you see there, I get 10 gold initially and then 3 on the secondary proc. So that's almost an entire caster minion there. We're just going to be looking to try to proc this as much as we can to establish an early gold lead, because this rune really falls off the second around like 20 minutes. It's like you're not getting next to any gold off of this, so it's better in lane. But here, just standard trading, looking for first strike procs when we can, plus 7 there, so we've gotten 30 gold off the rune. That's 2 casters, just about, actually a little more. And then while we're doing this third wave crash, for those that watch me frequently know that this is a custom skin on Gwen, and Harpy Queen actually just released this on her Runeforge page. I'll leave that down in the description for those that want to download it. This is completely safe to use, and it is over the Soul Fighter's skin, so that the particle effects are not stolen, basically. Riot's rule is you cannot make skins that already exist, so just to be extra cautious, Harpy Queen put this skin over Soul Fighter to make sure that the particle effects are not stolen by any means, and yeah, just completely safe to use. I've used this skin for months. I've had no issues, so it's there for those that want it. Here I was going to reset on a third wave crash, but I noticed that my Diana is almost done with her full clear, and I want to help her establish Scuttle Crab on the top side of the map, because that makes it safer for me, and it also gets my Diana ahead. So here I'm gonna get my level 4, walk downriver with Diana, and just go establish vision on the Lee Sin's jungle. He's not done with his full clear somehow. It's 340. I don't know what he was doing. Orin comes down as well. Another first strike proc. And then I'm just barely gonna get knocked up there, unfortunately. Orin's gonna flash away, Diana's gonna pick up the kill, and Lissandra's also gonna rotate over, which unfortunately leaves us dead. But here, just Dark Seal, Amp Tome, work our way back to top with the TP. We're also going to pick up the Lissandra, which is just amazing, and the waves pushing back to us. Super, super awesome position to be in. We've gotten like 4 first strike procs. We have the wave pushing to us. We'll have the XP lead once we collect all of this. But here you guys will see the first mistake of this game for me. Like, the death is unfortunate, but because of how the waves were set up, this was really beneficial for me. But you'll see that I'm just taking this very, very slow, and I should be thinning this a lot more, as you guys will see. Orin's going to engage there, get his level 5, and just get a massive chunk off on me. If I thin that more, I also get my level 5, and that's just completely impossible for him to do at that state. But thankfully, we're running Biscuits. I said at the start of the vid that the standard page would probably be Conk with Biscuits, and the reason I say Biscuits is because Orin is one of those tanks that actually beats Gwen early, about the first 1 to, I don't know, 8 levels. There's not like an exact level, it's just Brittle plus Grasp of the Undying is just such a strong amount of burst early in the game that you really need to play around it. So the Biscuits are very beneficial in this lane for the extra safety. So that is why I suggest you guys running it. If you're more confident in this lane, Overgrowth, Demolish, really good setup. That's typically what I'll go, but to just guarantee no lethal ranges on you, just get the Biscuits. You can run Cosmic Insight, you can go free boots. Both are great options. But here, Orin's gonna get his level 6, I'm gonna get my level 6 as well. And then 3, 2, 1, we got the Biscuits coming up. That is our last one for the game. But we are pretty safe here, even though we have a low HP pool. The biscuits are just going to make sure that we go to about half HP. Ornn's going to throw his Q in with it. So now we're just completely safe here. As well as Diana and Yon walking towards the top side of the map to assist me. And those that frequent the channel, Gwen's needles are a cosmetic ability. They are not meant to be landed. But yeah, it always feels so awesome just having a jungler remember that top lane does exist. Because as you guys can see, I just set up one solid crash on wave 4. And now I'm just relaxing. Or sorry, wave 3. Now I'm just relaxing. I went and helped my Diana out, and she's helped me time and time again. That's like the second or third time she's assisted me. I have a 1400 gold back, Blasting Wand, Fiendish Codex, and we're just relaxing. But yeah, 24 to 49 CS. Not much Ornn can do by himself at this point. And we're also getting to the point where Gwen will just outright beat Ornn, where we're getting away from that rough early game that I was talking about a few minutes ago. Ornn's just trying to slow push this wave while collecting what he can before we inevitably get access to the wave again. Ornn's gonna whip his Q. Another first strike proc. We're at a really good amount. Plus 21. But that is usually about where your gold income is gonna cap out. The most I've had on this rune ever since it got reworked to a laning phase rune was 200 gold. I was 6 items and I hit 2 targets and I got 201 gold. If that shows how much this rune falls off. Because those that have watched me consistently have seen like 500 to 600 gold procs when I would hit like 1000 AP, but that just can't happen anymore. But here we have a nice little freeze. I'm autoing consistently here because I just want to really push this in. I don't want to be in this laning phase anymore because I just want to go play TDM basically. It's very not boring, but I feel like the lane is just playing itself at this point, so I just want to go around the map and make sure that my bot lane's doing okay and maybe get some fun invades on the enemy Lee. Speaking of Lee, I opt to chill out there for a second. I popped the ghost mid-fight there because I thought Lee Sin was ganking me, actually. And then I hid it in the bush because I was still also nervous, like, Lee Sin's here, right? But he just never appears. We're going to get the tower plating, I almost said bone plating, and that will give us the exact amount for the Nashor's Tooth complete. Run back here. 30 seconds on our TP being empowered. I see a ward behind Morgana Varus there, and I'm thinking we could go for that, but them overextending for 30 seconds is highly unlikely, as well as me having to go collect my own wave. Yeah, 174 gold. So as you guys can see, we've established a lot of extra gold here. And that did give us access to Nashor's Tooth, but one thing that also gives us better access to Nashor's Tooth is just last hitting better. Around this time, you can have about 90 CS, so if we hit all that CS, we can still afford the Nashors. And then this is another mistake by me. When you have a massive lead like this and your team is playing well, you can just kind of relax. You can just let the wave push into you, freeze the opponent, and they just can't play anymore because if their jungler shows top, then you're in the state right now where you can basically just 2v1 them. It does not really matter. Speaking of 2v1, Lee is going to show up. And I'm going to play this about as poorly as I could. I end up trying to run down to the river. But unfortunately, Morgana shows up because Void Grubs are spawning. But I really feel if I ran up instead of down, I might have been able to outplay the Ornn Lee Sin. I ended up pinging Morgana because I was just shocked that she was even there. And Nautilus, as you guys will see, will get upset for that. I don't know what his deal was. He didn't type or anything. He just insta-muted. And once I get back to the fight, you guys are just going to see this Nautilus blow up in a minute or two. But anyways, collect the Rift Herald. Lee Sin's going to show mid. Nautilus is going to burn his flash. Diana's going to go for this fight here. And then you might be wondering, where's Orin? We just saw him top. And there he is mid. And then the second Nautilus dies and he sees Orin there, spam pings Orin and then just watch. He's just completely livid. Diana's typing like it's no big deal, but I don't think she ever noticed that Nautilus is perma-muted right now. I end up getting 5 plates, 40 CS up. This game is just completely over from this state. Like, there's not much they can do. The only thing that really could have saved them is Lee Sin ganking when I thought he was ganking, when I burnt my ghost and was hiding in the bush. And then here I'm just saying like, oh, Nautilus noob, he got upsetty. No big deal. Yeah, I really think that I was the only one that noticed that he muted immediately. Speaking of Nautilus, check out this hook. Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing this game. I think it was just because First Strike, because I missed this rune. Like, just the sound effect itself, like, just was so fun. But I just really wish that Riot would revert it to the old version it was. I feel like it was a worse rune overall on a lot of champions. But Gwen, I feel, is still the best user of the old First Strike, even better than GP, better than Alawi. My record on First Strike is like 4,300 in a ranked game. I don't see anyone close to that. I've researched it and I saw Solar Baka have like 2.8k, and that's the closest I've ever seen before. But anyways, Morgana is going to try to catch us out with the Varus and Orin. It's not going to work out. We're going to get the Morgana escape there. Yon's going to look for a re-engage potentially with our Nautilus. And they are going to find the Varus barrier and finish him off with the Yon Q. But here I'm just going to run back to top. Still 40 CS lead. We're just kind of coasting by in this side lane now. We're just going to try to create pressure in the side and either rotate to the fight when the opponents show up or just fight whoever shows up, because we're just strong enough to do whatever we want, really. Orin's going to pick up a double kill. They show 4 in the mid lane, I believe that was. Unfortunately, my ult is down. We saw 3 people walking up river, so that tells me that they can be on Rift. So I don't really want to touch this wave because they could just rotate over and get me while my ult's down. We see Varus top, and Diana really wants to fight for this, and she's been playing so well that I trust her on this. I'm going to picking up the Orin. Morgana's going to start walking her way. I'm going to try to get the lead, but I don't really want to overstay because we see the Lissandra showing up. We saw the Varus already there. And Diana will unfortunately go down.
Bits of fabric can become something beautiful. My work here can do just the same. Your turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, Samira's trying to type to Nautilus. She doesn't even realize that he perma-muted. I wonder who popped that surrender vote, by the way. Yeah, and then Samira just goes on a little tangent. She ends up muting herself. Lee Sin, Varus, Orin all come to the top side to try to deal with me. I just chunk the Lee Sin out. They try to chase me down. but it's not enough to catch me. That was TP from Lissandra mid with the Morgana, so they can't really break the tier 1 just yet. The objective for me right now is play for tier 1 bot or tier 2 top.
It's real.
We could also break the tier 1 mid, but I don't want to group up with my team unless it's for guaranteed gold after, right? Like maybe an enemy jungle camp, or maybe I get the solo tower gold.
I'll break as many needles as it takes to get this right.
Fight breaks out on the bottom side of the enemy jungle, and that just gives me the go trigger to just go for this tier 2. But yeah, as you guys can see, I have TP up, but I don't want to go for this fight. My ult's down, and I just don't trust this Nautilus. I don't trust this Samira. We're going to end up getting a TP from the enemy Orin because Lissandra already burnt hers. And then that gives me the go-ahead to go for this fight. Because I created pressure in the side lane, I brought someone up there, and my ultimate's ready. Lissandra's going to try to flash out. We're going to end up running her down. And then here we almost make the craziest blunder imaginable. Lissandra's running up to the Rift Herald, and she actually almost gets into it and rides it away to the sunset. Alright, but then here we want to push the wave. I would prefer being here by myself, but Samira unfortunately is muted, and even if I backping her, she won't leave. It's fine though, it was just one wave. Team's pinging a tier 1 top defend, but at this point tier 1s do not matter. Tier 1s don't create anything. They don't create any threat, they don't create any resources. I won't say any resources, it is 300 gold, but it's not a big enough reward to give up a potential dragon fight, a potential baron if it's the bot tower. With the tier 1 and tier 2 top and bot towers, it is worth it sometimes. You don't want to make that trade, but if you have 3 allies dead, you're never getting that baron. So you might as well get something that can catch you back up. Here I unfortunately missed the wall hop, but thankfully I land my needles for once on this character and are able to help out just a little bit. And then Samira is just going to pop her devil trigger and pick up a nice little quadra kill. While I play jungler and get the dragon. Alright, and then, as you guys can see, respawn timers on Morgana Lee are almost fully up. I just want to get this wave because I don't really think I can clear this in time. I feel like that I am fed, but I just don't deal crazy amounts of damage just yet to these towers. If I had 6 Void Grubs, I might stay. But I would rather just get these guaranteed jungle camps. And then here I am on a ward, and I was thinking, oh shoot, I gotta get out of here once I clear this. But then if you look at the minimap, we immediately see Lee Sin on the blue side, and that just creates no worry for me anymore. So I finish that camp off, get my reset, and now we're 3 items at 20 minutes. But yeah, 500 AP, we're just going to buy 2 control wards, because why not? We want the opponents to start playing into us. We're so strong, so if we can just scare them that we're on the Baron, and they have to come into us in Fog of War, they're just all gone. Like, they don't really have the power to walk past us and check. So if we just have one person sit in a bush, then we are completely fine. Var's gonna land a pretty nice ulti on our Samira. Morgana's gonna ult, and that gives me the go-ahead to go on this Morgana. I try sniping the Varus there, but Varus flashes. And then we are gonna look for the Lee. Lee's gonna kick me away towards the Varus, and Diana's gonna finish that off. And immediately I'm just thinking, okay, what's next? And I just think Baron. It has to be Baron. The same concept that I was just talking about. they are not strong enough to come and check us in Fog of War. So this should theoretically be free. Like, Orin could walk down right now, but he's not sure if we're sitting in Pixel Bush right now or not. And that scares him so much that he doesn't even go for the tier 1. And then here we just get to collect a couple minions here. There's not really a reason for me to apply a lot of pressure up here because Yon already got the inhibitor tower. So I'm just here catching waves while I wait for my team to get back on the map. As you can see, Yon on the bot side just reset. Nautilus is in base, Diana's in base. So I don't really want to do anything too aggressive. And here I'm just playing the scales. I'm like, I could go in for a 1v3. I know there's 3 up here. We just saw Lee Sin on that ward. Morgana's right there by the Gromp. And then I play the smart thing and take my reset. Place the control ward just because I don't like selling them. I'd rather just place it down on the 1 in a million chance that that ward actually matters eventually. And then just pick up the next large rod for 650 AP at 22 minutes, which is insane. And then there, I checked my first strike gold. I believe it was around like 400 or something. Var's gonna overextend. Just press all the buttons on him. And then here, rare thing, Pillagey landing his needles. Insane. But yeah, Morgana goes down to 10% HP. She's just not going back to heal for some reason. There, I just create some threat. I was never actually looking for an engage there. Just trying to distract them while my team gets the wave into the tower. And then here, me and Diana will just completely demolish these towers and inhibitors. 4 are forced to come to us. If Lysandra jumps into my circle there and has ult, I am 10 out of 10 times dead there. But I've created so much threat throughout the game and established such a crazy lead that she was just too worried or too scared to take that chance, or her ult was down. It was one or the other. Alright, but here, triple inhib. That spells GG. I don't know if this stat still exists or not, like if it's changed over the years, but about 2 years ago, there was a stat saying that like 98% of the games are won once you take triple inhibs, and shocker, this will not be any different. And unfortunately with the needles and the Q, I don't know how I'm regressing so much after playing so many games on this champion, but I'm only human. I can't land them all. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the game. This was a really fun one to play. I just really missed first strike, so I still wish that it went back to its original state, but I can only pray that they bring it back, just like for some reason they're bringing Lethal Tempo back in a couple months or so. Anyways, like, sub, comment something about Bell. I'm gonna leave you with the end game stats and have a wonderful day.
Just like the good old times. Sweet, simple, and out of control.